Hello again, fellow BeachBum traders. Thank you for joining us for part one of our weekly trading game plan for the trading week of December 2nd through December 6th. We're in part one of our weekly trading game plan. We'll try to help you find some Cyber Monday sales on stocks. So let's get started. We hope that you all had a very happy Thanksgiving holiday and are having a great Thanksgiving holiday weekend. So here's our Google document with our notes for part one of our weekly trading game plan for the trading week of December 2nd through December 6th. We keep our notes for our weekly trading game plans in publicly accessible Google documents. Our notes documents contain links to the bonus videos, tools, and resources we use to do our market analysis, come up with our trade ideas, trade strategies for this trading week. You can find a direct link to this Google document in the description box below. We keep all of our weekly trading game plan notes Google documents in a publicly accessible Google Drive folder, so you can refer back to the notes for this week as well as previous weekly trading game plans. And you can also find a direct link to that Google Drive folder in the description box below. Firstly, we'll see how the markets ended up on the shortened trading day on Friday. So we'll go to the main page in FinBiz. Again, markets all closed at 1 p.m. Eastern time on Friday. So shortened trading day, allowing people to go out shopping for Black Friday. We'll talk about some of the news coming out of retail from the Thanksgiving and Black Friday shopping season. We can see all the indices ended up positive. Dow up 0.42, NASDAQ up 0.83, S&P up 0.56. So generally a bullish day. A little bit of a sell-off on the Dow towards the end of the day, afternoon. A little bit on the S&P, same thing towards the close. Probably some profit taking before the holiday weekend. Again, we had 69% advancing, 27% declining. We had 90% new highs, only 10% new lows. 64% now above their 50-day moving average, 36% below. 67% above their 200-day, 33% below. So generally, again, a very bullish day. Welcome, Gerald Fitz, Fairchild, Sydney Osborne. Thank you all for joining us. Hope you all are having a great Thanksgiving holiday weekend. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. The Ricky Khan, glad to see you all. So in the heat map, we see a little bit of a buy the dip on the Mag 7s. Most sectors in the green, probably all sectors in the green, maybe real estate, a little bit negative, a little bit financials, but generally, again, bullish for the end of the Thanksgiving week. See some of the news. Trump's Treasury pick, tariffs, retail therapy drove markets this week. Jobs data. So we'll be looking at the jobs data. Rush to value up. Asian stocks. Best defense. Best month in a year. It's red sweep. So again, we'll see the post-election sentiment. Dow jumps nearly 200 points in record and short session, post best month, S&P best month in 2024. So again, November very positive for stocks that we've been discussing for quite a while. Saw oil went up, tested about 70, got rejected, bounced back down, tested about 68, bounced up. So this looks like we've got a pretty stable range between 68 and 70 right now. Natural gas again trending up in general, but again very volatile as we'll see. Gold retested up around 2,700, got rejected, came down. It's got support about 2,650 because again we'll see a consolidation range on gold between about 2,650 and 2,700. Again, all the futures on the indices all pointing up. Saw bond yields decline significantly, which pushed bond prices up as we'll see. So now we've got the 30-year down below 4.4, 10-year below 4.2, and the 5-year at 405. So again, very steep decline in bond yields, bounce back in bond prices. Saw Bitcoin testing that 100,000 mark. The futures actually broke 100,000 again, but I don't think the spot Bitcoin price has quite broken that 100,000 mark. Might get another retest of that 100,000 mark and see if it can break it, possibly even over this weekend. So if we look at a breakdown of the major indices and then the technology components, and again, just a reminder, you can access these screeners via the links in the notes and also in the screener sheets in our ETFs and watchlist Google Sheets. So if we look at the major indices, and we see all the indices either made or except for the NASDAQ, but Dow, new all-time high, riding that upper trend line. Again, the Russell had broken its 3-year high and then retraced slightly back just below that upper trend line. Again, a lot of exuberance in the markets in general. NASDAQ again didn't quite retest its all-time high. Again, more general weakness in technology. SPY again breaking its all-time high, trending upward. So again, SPY, strength in the SPY, Dow, Russell, not so much in the NASDAQ. So if we look at a breakdown of the technology components within the NASDAQ, see ARK-K close to testing its high, 52-week high, not quite. I thought maybe it would test that on Friday. We'll talk tomorrow. We're using SARK, which is the short on ARK-K, leverage short on ARK-K to short ARK-K. So again, we see several gaps. It filled the previous gap, but a lot of potential downside in ARK. Bangs again, just chopping around. We see, repeated by the dips in the Mag 7s, but not really going anywhere. So again, the strength in the reign of the Mag 7 may be over, and not so much in the FANG stocks. Talk about semi. I'll come back to biotechs. Again, semiconductors generally weak as well, getting close to its 52-week low, trending down. Again, possible opportunity for a swing back up in SOXL. Again, we'll talk about some ways we're looking at that opportunity again tomorrow. Again, TQQ just leveraged on the Qs, so it's trending the same way as the NASDAQ. Again, the broader technology market, again, not real strong. It's got a narrowing wedge, riding that lower trend line, riding the short-term moving average. So again, just trading laterally, chopping about right now. Biotech had a strong bounce, as you can see, bounced off that lower trend line up to the moving averages. Again, it looks like we're going to have a death cross potentially in Lab U. So strong rebound, slight rejection. Again, we've talked about this divergence before, but it looks like when all the other tech sectors are down, Lab U, biotech is up, and vice versa. So it looks like biotech's trading generally inversely to the other tech sectors. So potential opportunity for short-term trading. You can use Lab U to long biotech, Lab D to short biotech. And again, it looks like there's an inverse correlation between biotechs and the other technology stocks. So I hope that helps. Welcome, Alan Krantz. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're having a great Thanksgiving holiday weekend as well. Okay, let me grab a quick drink and we'll go over the group, sectors, industry breakdown. Just a quick reminder, none of our content should be considered financial advice. We're not financial advisors. All of our content is for education and entertainment purposes only. So if we look at a breakdown of let me go back to sectors. So we see on Friday, rebounding technology, rebounding consumer cyclical. So again, somewhat of a rotation back on Friday to some of the underperformers for the week. Again, the only red sector is real estate, which is a little ironic since we did see a decline in bond yields, which generally should benefit real estate. Rotation out of utility somewhat for the week. Consumer cyclical, again, we saw a rebound back in healthcare, rebound in real estate. So again, that might have been just some profit taking there. Financials, industrials pretty strong. The weakest sector for the week was energy. Again, oil was declining, bounced back up a little bit, and we'll see if that trends back up for the month. Again, cyclicals positive, energy quite positive, utilities, technology kind of in the middle, real estate just slightly positive, healthcare and basic materials pretty negative. So again, some rotation, out of the weakest sectors back into stronger sectors like in healthcare. Also, it was end of the month, so we probably saw some sector rotation end of this week, and we'll probably see potentially more early next week. So if we look at the industries, see uranium made a strong rebound, some financials, retail generally positive. We'll look at some of the retail positive retail news from the Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Solar rebound a little bit, silver, gold on Friday. Weakest sectors, all REITs. So again, possibly some profit taking out of there. Coal, utilities, water utilities. For the week, again, rebound in solar, drop in bond yields, positive for interest rate sensitive sectors like solar. Also, I saw some news that Trump was talking about tariffs on solar cells coming out of countries like, I think it was Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, in addition to China. So looking at preventing dumping, so that may also benefit the U.S. solar market. Retail pretty positive. Some of the REITs, travel-related REITs. Negative for the week. See, uranium was just slightly negative, made that big rebound on Friday. Silver, gold, pretty negative. Coal, semiconductors, negative for the week. For the month, though, coal strong. Travel, oil, services generally strong. Uranium was strong for the month. Airlines, some of the banks. Again, we saw retracement in the regional banks on Friday. Steel, most of the REITs slightly positive. Negative, semiconductors, solar was negative for the month. Gold negative, silver very negative for the month. So again, end of month, we might see some sector rotation back into some of these weaker sectors for December. Also, December in general tends to be positive for silver and gold, but they've been running pretty high. So we'll see if we get that seasonal rotation in silver and gold as well. Okay, next we'll talk about some of the economic data we got from last week, in shortened week, and then we'll look at the economic data upcoming for the upcoming week. Just a quick reminder, as the important economic data comes out, important economic news, I try to capture that as quickly as possible and post it in the Surf the Markets channel in our Discord. Our Discord's free to join. We'd love to have you join our Discord, participate in discussions of all topics related to trading, and also a great source for real-time economic data and economic news. So I wanted to highlight this data on, we talked about retail and some of the important economic news that came out. As it said, Adobe Analytics reported consumers spent a record 6.1 billion online on Thanksgiving, up almost 9%. Expects a record 11 billion on Black Friday, up 10%. And Cyber Monday will be the biggest shopping day, 13 billion, up 6.1. So all the data we're getting on the retail sector, all very positive. So we saw some of the retail ETFs bounce up on Friday, probably on this positive news and some of the other positive news coming out of retail. And some of the retail's bounced up as well. So that bodes well again for the whole retail shopping holiday season. Also, you can see I try to capture a screenshot, the important economic data and the raw data. Again, post that in the Surf the Markets channel in our Discord. So again, great source for real-time economic data, real-time economic news. So again, we'd love to have you join and actively participate in our Discord. So other than that, some of the data, not much Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, see mortgage rates dropped a little bit. So again, we've got bond yields dropping. So that will bode well for the housing sector for mortgages. Got some jobless claims data, weekly jobless claims data. See continuing jobless claims a little below expectations. Initial jobless claims also a little below expectations and down a little bit. So again, job market continues to be relatively resilient. We don't have, Fed doesn't have to worry about the job market deterioration. So again, that's not a reason for them to cut. Also got core PCE data, a little below expectations, so still high. So inflation's still above that 2%, but came down a little bit. GDP data pretty much in line. So again, we're not seeing any deterioration of the economy, risk of recession, so no negative data there. PCE, again, pretty much in line. Consumer spending a little bit below expectations, but this was Q3, but it's still, again, relatively strong. So consumers continues to be strong. Yeah, don't see any deterioration, and we saw those record retail sales. So again, consumers continuing to spend, expected to continue to spend. So again, PCE data, core PC all in line. Home sales a little weaker, but generally positive. So again, all the economic data so far says soft landing, but the Fed really doesn't need to cut further. We'll see if they do or not in December. But again, the data I see so far, not really a necessity to cut further. And markets were closed on Thursday for Thanksgiving. We hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And again, markets closed at 1 p.m. yesterday for Black Friday. So to answer your question, Alan, if I really believe the numbers is the numbers are the numbers that we have. So all we can do is, based on the numbers that we're given, we can make our trading decisions appropriately, the best that we're able. So if we look at the rest of the economic data from this week, so again, building permits pretty much in line, housing prices, consumer confidence pretty much in line, crude stock down, but again, we saw this oil price popped up a little bit, but not a whole lot. Not a lot of whole new news out of the FOMC minutes. Still contemplating whether they need to cut further. Some just discrepancy whether their rate of cuts is too fast. Talked about mortgage rates and PCE and GDP and jobless claims. Oil inventories, again, down more than expected, but again, we didn't see a real strong pop in oil prices. Natural gas storage down, but down less than expected. Again, we see the trend in natural gas is up, again, colder weather. Also talk about alleviating the export ban, so that would be positive for natural gas sales. Rig counts dropped a little bit, so again, trying to hold the oil prices up a little bit. Gerald says Walmart in his area had weak Black Friday sales. Amazon had the best. Yep, a good, online data. So may see more of a rotation to online sales again. We do have some ETFs in our Google sheet where you can play that rotation from brick and mortar to online retail. So if we look at the economic data coming up for next week, so we've got an OPEC meeting. I heard they were deferring that, so I think it's not going to be on the 1st. I think it's going to be the 5th. Sounds like they're going to defer their or they're going to hold their production cuts as is, trying to keep oil prices up. Get ISM manufacturing data, so we'll get some manufacturing data on Monday. Tuesday, we get JOLTS. Again, we'll see if the job market's tightening up any. Again, Fed's starting to look at that more, so that'll be an important economic data point. Wednesday, mortgage data, non-farm payrolls. So it'll be a first look at the employment change for November. We'll see how that marries up with the jobs data we're getting later in the week. Get factory orders, more ISM. Got Powell talking here if he makes any comments. They're headed into their blackout period, so we'll have fewer Fed officials talking. So maybe more focus on how Powell sees the economic data we've gotten recently and the outlook for a further cut in December and going forward. Thursday, again, we get jobless claims data, job cuts. So a lot of jobs data. And then Friday, non-farm payroll. So again, the focus next week will be on the jobs market. We'll see if we're getting any further deterioration in the jobs market. Got another couple Fed officials talking. Also get Michigan sentiment data, so we'll see if their inflation expectations are coming down any. The long term has remained pretty high. Shorter term had been coming down a little bit. Sentiment in general had improved a little bit last time. So we'll see how the consumer's feeling. It's holiday season. We'll see how the consumer's feeling for the holiday season. So we should be winding down on earnings, but you can see who's left to report earnings for next week. See if there's any companies that impact your trading in the same sector as stocks you're interested in trading or holding. Got some retailers, some technology, etc. Salesforce, probably one of the bigger ones. Marvel, some banks, Okta. So we've got some technology. But again, should be winding down for this earnings season. Cracker Barrel, so some restaurants, etc. So you can go through the whole list in investing.com, see if there's anything that will impact your trading for the Cyber Monday week. Possibly we'll get some irrational reactions to these earnings reports, might give us some cyber market sales on some stocks. So it's definitely worth keeping an eye on those earnings, listening to their guidance going forward. You can hear how we trade around earnings via the link to the video in our notes. Again, reminder, the next FOMC meeting is the 17th and 18th. On the 18th, we'll get the next interest rate decision, also a dot plot, so SEP, so we'll see their new projections as to rate cuts going forward. Okay, let me grab a quick drink and we'll go look at the market screen in Webull. Just a quick reminder, if you're not already using Webull, they're still offering up to 40 free fractional shares of stock. If you deposit as little as $2,000, you get 40 free fractional shares of stock worth $3,000 to $3,000 each. Under $2,000, you get 20 free fractional shares of stock. Also, they keep emailing me bonus interest on contributions, so they're still offering, I think, 3.5. So if you join Webull using our affiliate link in the description box below, you can get your free fractional shares of stock, also any other promotions they're currently offering, and also help support our BeachBum trading community, which we greatly appreciate. I'm using the online browser version of the market screen so we can see the distribution of advancers and decliners from Friday. Again, very strong, 3,800 advancers with 2,400 decliners. Most of the advancers, though, was very small percentage of decliners. I thought the inflow was somewhat interesting. We had positive inflows in both the NYSE and NASDAQ for the majority of the day, and then the NASDAQ went slightly negative towards the end of the day, and then we had a significant dip right at close at 1 p.m. in the NYSE, probably again some profit taking, end of month potentially profit taking. But again, both generally positive for the majority of the day. Again, the fear and greed, we're back up into the greed setting. So it was interesting. We trended up. So we kind of hit a bottom in the 40s or so, which was pretty neutral. We've been trending up all week. We're near the post-election high of about 68. So looks like we're going to test the post-election high in the greed. So again, starting to get pretty greedy. So again, we'll talk about potential opportunities for cyber market, Cyber Monday sales on stocks. Again, you can see a detailed version of the earnings calendar here in Webull. Go to next week, go day by day. So you can see who's reporting each day. So it looks like Zscaler is one of the first ones on Monday, and go through how that might impact any of your trading decisions. Look at the best performing industries for the week. So biotech, pretty positive. And we saw that strong rebound in LabU. Retailers doing well. Retailers doing well. Natural gas, positive. Renewables, again, rebound in solar. Uranium, saw that rebound, pretty strong. LEU, the strongest. UUU, DNN. Real estate, generally positive. Again, pharmaceuticals rebounded. Retail is going to be positive. Again, retail, given the data we're hearing, retail should remain positive through the end of the year. REITs generally positive. Okay, ETFs. So up on the Qs, long on the S&P, up on the Dow, up on the S&P, up on the Qs. YCL is long the yen, long Bitcoin, up on the Russell. So industrial strong, healthcare rebounded, utilities pretty positive, energy, negatives, real estate, some financial services, consumer defense is very positive, some basic material weakness, again, uranium very strong, technology strong from Friday, commodities, natural gas, platinum, palladium. Got zero coupons, 25 plus, 20, so long end of the curve is positive. Next, we'll also look at the futures. Just a quick reminder, you can also now trade futures in Webull, and you can get more information about that via the discussion topic on futures trading in Webull in our Discord via the link in our notes. So if we look at the futures in FinViz, again, we see the strong upward trend in the Dow and the S&P, not quite as strong in the NASDAQ. Again, strong rebound in the Russell. Again, broke its 3-year high. Looks like it's consolidating. We'll see if we get a retest of that high. Again, slight gap to fill below that previous gap up. Foreign markets have been weaker, so Nikkei kind of trended down. Looks like it's got support around that 3,800 level. Euro stocks rebounded slightly. DAX rebounded a little stronger, although there's some weak economic data coming out of Germany. Again, VIX trending down below 15 in the 14s. Let's look at the term structure in the VIX real quickly. Also, I want to look at some seasonality on the VIX. So again, just a quick reminder, you can see the VIX futures term structure via the tool we have in the link section on our homepage. Again, our homepage is beachbumtrading.com, but without the U. So if we scroll down to the reference links, under links, you can find this VIX term structure. I've started looking at this more frequently, even during the days. So we can see now the VIX is in contango, so it's trending upward. VIX futures is now above the current VIX, so we've got the current VIX below 14, current futures below 15, but trending up. So December's about below 15, trends up to 16 in January. All of them are now below 18. They were up in the 18s earlier, so that whole term structure is trending down a bit. So we saw this flip from backwardation to contango and back, so you can see the slope of contango via the term structure. So I hope that helps. Again, I want to look at the seasonality on the VIX quickly, and tomorrow we'll talk in probably more detail about some potential opportunities. We saw the VIX is expected to trend up. So I want to look at the seasonality towards the end of the year. So we could see the VIX has a tendency to decline till late December, and I'm sure that's a futures rollover. But then it pops up a little bit, doesn't really start trending up until spring. So again, the trend in the VIX is probably down till we get into, end of middle of February or so, and then the trend turns and up going forward. So again, I would expect the VIX to continue to trend down. So we see that trend down towards the end of the year. Pretty much every year it has a tendency to trend down towards the end of the year. So again, I would expect the trend in the VIX to continue to be down. We'll see if it, hits a bottom. Looks like the bottom, 14 is pretty low. 10, 12 is extremely low. So we'll see kind of where it bottoms out. Looks like the most recent bottom was about 1460 or so. Before that, it looks like 14, mid 14s has been the recent lows in the VIX before we had that August spike. It was down in the 12s. So we'll see if it fills that gap back down to the 12s before the end of the year, and then trends up into early next year. So again, you're trading volatility, trading the VIX, futures, or ETFs. Hopefully that helps. So again, we saw oil had popped up over 70, didn't quite make it to 72, trended back down, broke back down below 70, got support around 68. So we'll see some choppiness between 68 and 70, see if it continues to trend down towards that below 67 again. And the overall trend in natural gas is up, very volatile. So it broke about above 350, got rejected, came back down, got plenty of support in that area. But again, we'll see what it takes to break that 350. Yeah, see gold briefly tested or tried to test at 2,700, got rejected, back down to 2,650. So that's kind of the current range on gold. Silver support at 30, bounced up just above 31. We'll see if that holds. Looks like the current top of resistance level in that low 31. So again, both gold and silver pretty range bound right now. Copper's been trending down. Platinum and palladium rolled over, consolidating some. Corn trending up, but again, it's retraced, bounced. Wheat again tested that 580 area, got rejected, started trending back down. We'll see if it retests its recent bottoms, and if so, we'll see if we get an opportunity to swing wheat back up. We use the WEAT ETF to swing wheat long. Lumber rolled over a little bit. Again, tariffs on Canada might impact the lumber prices. Coffee hit new all-time highs. Again, I think coffee out of Brazil, some issue with that. Again, we saw the bond yields drop, so bond prices swung back up. So again, congratulations to any of our BeachBum traders who caught this swing in the bond prices using any of the bond ETFs, TLT, TMF, etc. that we have in our ETFs Google sheet. Again, dollar peaked out at around 108, rolled over, trending back down. A lot of discussion that Trump prefers a weaker dollar, so we'll see if that trend continues, although dollar had been strengthening pretty much through the election up until a week or so ago. So see if this trend down in the dollar continues. So all the foreign currencies rebounded. Looks like the yen swinging back up. So if you want to play that long in yen, YCL, if you think it's going to retrace, short YCS. So all the foreign currencies pretty much rebounded, some stronger than others. So I hope that all helps. Okay, I'm going to skip forward through our ETFs. We'll come back to that. I want to talk about our theme for this week first. So let me grab a quick drink and we'll go over our theme, our strategies, trade ideas for the Cyber Monday sales on stocks week. So again, our theme for this week is looking for Cyber Monday sales on stock. And I put a link to an article I found in Market Watch that talks about how the S&P tends to perform from Thanksgiving week into the New Year's Eve. You may have to subscribe to read this whole article, so I'll just summarize it here for you all. But I thought the interesting part about this article was for the week following Thanksgiving, which is Cyber Monday week, and that historically the market tends to decline in the week after Thanksgiving and then trend upward through the end of the year. And it tends to decline more in the week after Thanksgiving on presidential election years than on other years. So we may get some good Cyber Monday sales on stocks or sales on stocks during the Cyber Monday week. Again, historically, the trend is to get a little bit of a dip the week after Thanksgiving. So we want to be ready to take advantage of that dip with any cyber market sales on stocks. So again, the tendency is for this week to be a little bit down and then trend back up into the end of the year. So a good buy the dip opportunity potentially during this Cyber Monday sale on stocks. So we previously done a video on where to find and how to find Monday's stock market deals, and you can listen to that in more detail via the link in our notes. It includes how we use some FinBiz screeners to find cheap value stocks, cheap profitable stocks, but I did also include the direct link to those videos also in the notes. So again, you can listen to that video and see how we use these screeners to find Cyber Monday sales on stocks via those videos. Also, recently we talked about how to find double bottoms and multiple bottoms using the FinBiz screeners. So as a bonus link, you can reference our previous discussions on how to find stocks to swing trade at a double bottom or a multiple bottom. Just a caveat is when we're looking at Cyber Monday sales on stocks, not all sales are a good deal. So just be aware that we are now in the wash sale window for tax loss harvesting towards the end of the year. So if you're unfamiliar with the wash sale or with tax loss harvesting and how that works, you can get more information about tax loss harvesting and the wash sale via the links to those videos in our notes. But again, stocks that are down significantly, near a 52-week low, near a bottom, etc. for the year. There may be a Cyber Monday sale, but it might not be a good deal because they may be vulnerable to further tax loss harvesting now till the end of the year, and people might not buy them back until early next year, or just right after they have to do their reporting of their holdings for the year. So a lot of money managers, etc., fund managers don't want to have the big losers on their holdings. So again, they may sell, take the tax loss, and then buy them back early next year. So if you're willing to hold through further dips, further declines through the end of the year, you might take advantage of some of these Cyber Monday sales on these stocks, even though, again, they may decline further due to tax loss harvesting. So again, just be aware of further tax loss harvesting may drive some of these stocks that look like a deal further down through the end of the year. So again, we'll be in December. So I added all the links for our previous videos on trading in December, how to make money trading in December, how the markets typically perform in December, best performing sectors and industries in December. And then as we head towards the end of the year, we'll start talking about the Santa Claus rally and what that is and what that means ending this year and going into next year. Also, December is still technically in the fall till we get about this solstice around the 21st or 22nd. So you can see the trends, historical trends for the fall via the links in our notes. So I hope that all helps. Let me grab a quick drink and we'll go back to ETFs. So if anybody in the chat has a particular ETF that you'd like to take a look at, you can throw those themes, topics, indices, commodities, etc. Up in the chat, and we can look at those ETFs in our ETF Google Sheet. Okay, as we identify a trade idea and opportunity in the markets, given all this market analysis, all these trade ideas, we then use our ETFs Google Sheet to identify various ETFs, be it a long or a short trade idea, we can find ETFs in our ETFs Google Sheet to take advantage of that opportunity with whatever risk reward profile, etc., that we would like. And you can do the same thing by joining our Patreon. You can get 24/7 access to our ETFs Google Sheet. Firstly, I want to go over a new one that we identified in the AI artificial intelligence theme. So this is AIQ, the Global X Artificial Intelligence and Technology ETF. We'll look at that and compare it to some of the other AI-related ETFs that we have in our Google Sheet and have done previous reviews on. So if we go to the research sheet of our ETFs Google Sheet, we find AIQ. So here is AIQ. Again, we've got several others that we can compare it to in our research sheet, AIEQ and BAI, and then there's a couple others in our ETFs Google Sheet, bots, robo, and ubot. So let's look at the details of AIQ a bit, and then we can compare it to the other ETFs we've talked about in this artificial intelligence theme. Let me see, right now it's about 38, so it's pretty high, close to its 52-week high of 39. See risk reward profile from a 52-week standpoint, it's not all that exciting, or from a support resistance, about 1.3, 1.2. Again, right now it's pretty high, so more risk than reward right now. But we see from the bottom to top, it's got about a factor of 3, so that's not too bad. We can look at its profile in FinViz and then also in the ETF database. So again, you can access these profiles in the links in our ETFs Google Sheet in the appropriate columns. So here's AIQ and FinViz, again, pretty high, trending upward very nicely. So if you got into this, early, a nice return. See performance for the year up 30%, so it's pretty attractive. Been around for a while, so well, it looks like it was been around 2018, 2019, so it's had a nice trend since 2022. So see all-time highs. So again, pretty high right now. Looks like it pays a very small dividend, is optionable. AUM 2 billion, so it's got plenty of funds. Volume 314K, so it's not too bad from a volume standpoint. Look at its composition. So Netflix is the top holding, CRM, Tesla, Salesforce, Cisco, Oracle, IBM, Meta, Alibaba, Amazon. So kind of an interesting composition. The index, artificial intelligence and big data. So that's the index that they're based on. Utilizing artificial intelligence and big data. So this is kind of a combination of AI and big data. So if we look at this also in the ETF database, see if there's any additional information. So you can get their expense ratio, etc. 0.68, so not too high, but not cheap. Look at their holdings. So again, ServiceNow, Tesla, Netflix, CRM, Oracle, Cisco, IBM, Meta, Baba. So you've got some foreign companies. NVIDIA's down at 3%. So you do get some NVIDIA, Amazon, Accenture, so some consulting, Apple, Broadcom. So again, you can compare the holdings and the risk reward profile of AIQ to some of the others. Let's see from the bottom to top, a little bit better than AIEQ or BAI. 52-week, it's equivalent to this AIEQ. So let's compare it to some that we have in our main sheet. So we've got bots, robo, and ubot, ones we previously identified. See from the 52-week standpoint, ubot has the best risk reward, and it's significantly better than AIQ. But AIQ is better than like robot or bots from a 52-week standpoint. Bottom to top, so better than bots, but not as good as robo or ubot. We can see all these are pretty high, pretty close to their 52-week highs. So maybe if we get a deflation of the AI bubble, the AI turnover, and the AI hype cycle, you can use our ETFs in both our main sheet and our research sheet, now including AIQ, to identify the ETF that you like best with the composition, risk reward profile that you prefer to trade the AI artificial intelligence theme. So please let us know if you have any experience with AIQ or any of these other AI artificial intelligence related ETFs, which ones you prefer, and if so, why. Please put it in the comments below or in our Discord. So we'd love to hear your feedback on what you think of AIQ, the Global X Artificial Intelligence Technology ETF, as an ETF to trade the AI artificial intelligence theme and or any of these other ETFs. So again, if you have any themes, ETFs you want to look at in the chat, please throw those up. If I missed your ticker or your question, I apologize. Please put those back up in the chat and I'll try to address those. Again, we've got ETFs to trade Bitcoin, long or short. These are the futures, the miners, etc. So again, if you want to short-term trade the volatility in Bitcoin, we've got several there. Also in cryptocurrencies, we've got some additional ones: Bitcoin Short, SBIT, BITX. Also other cryptocurrencies, BITQ. Block, again, on a number of companies related to data, FDIG. So again, variety of ETFs you can trade long or short on Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. Just be aware if it's a futures or a spot price. Talking about Brazil. Brazil's been trending down, so we recently looked at that. Cannabis, we talked about that recently. Not a lot of catalysts, but it's a little bit attractive, and there is some look at the dividends for MJ probably tomorrow as well. Tomorrow we'll talk in more detail about BDRY. We're putting BDRY in our bullpen. BDRY is an ETF on dry bulk shipping. And we'll talk about that opportunity. You can see it popped up as being attractive right now. It's pretty close to its 52-week low, 651. So we took a look at that. Might be a potential swing trade opportunity in the future. So again, tomorrow we'll talk in more detail about BDRY, look at some seasonality factors, also talk about potential impact of tariffs on dry bulk shipping rates, and again, a potential longer-term swing trade opportunity in BDRY. Again, short-term trading on gold, you can long GDXU, short GDXD or DUST, etc. So we've got a variety of ETFs. If you want monthly dividends, GLDI, similarly for silver. And we saw silver and gold looks like they're consolidating a little bit right now, but you can long AGQ, short was ZSL, dividend payer SLBO. And we talked about that rebound in solar, although still pretty low. TAN, 52-week risk reward's not that great, but right now it's not too bad. Also, tomorrow we'll talk more about semiconductors and some ways that we can play this opportunity in stock sell. Look for a swing back up in semiconductors. See, it's come down, still significantly above its 52-week low. But again, we'll talk about some ways potentially to play a swing back up in semiconductors. Welcome, Fairchild, Katon. Thank you for joining us. Hope you all having a great Thanksgiving weekend and are doing well. Again, plenty of ETFs to trade. Treasuries, again, congratulations to anyone that caught that swing back up in treasuries. We're still long a position in TMF. We did not add to it yet. And uranium. Been looking at Vietnam, but risk reward profile is not that great. Talked about the trend in volatility through the end of the year is probably down. So we see a decline in UVXY. And talk more in detail tomorrow about potentially trading that seasonal trend in volatility. But if you want to trade that trend down, we've got several various ETFs to trade short or long on volatility. And we talked about wheat coming back down. We used WAT. We talked about that swing back up in the yen. So again, the risk reward profile is not that exciting, but if you short term, you want to leverage short term ETF to long the yen, YCL, short YCS, or just unlevered FXY. Also, we talked about the weaker dollar. So if you think the dollar will continue to weaken under Trump, we have some various ETFs for trading the dollar long and short. So they're under US dollar. So this short on the dollar's UDN. I believe UDN also pays a dividend. If you want a short-term trade, we've got a couple up, UUP up, UDN short. Also, we've got others, foreign currencies in our research sheet, so you can find some foreign currency and also our ETF database sheet. So you can find a number of additional foreign currency ETFs in our ETF database sheet of our ETFs Google Sheet. So if you're looking to trade some of the foreign currencies using ETFs, again, you can find a variety of ETFs in the ETF database sheet of our ETFs Google Sheet. So if anyone else has any questions about ETFs to use to trade any other themes, topics, etc., you can put those in the comments to the video. Again, you can contact us in our Discord, tag us using at BeachBum Trading, all lowercase, no other characters, symbols, numbers, etc. Anyone else is an imposter, please report and ignore them. So if you have any other questions about trading, ETFs, etc., if you want us to take any look at individual stocks or part 2 of our weekly trading game plan, etc., or dividend payers, again, please tag us in our Discord, put a comment under our videos, and we can prepare for that discussion, preferably in advance. Also, we'd love your feedback on what we can do to improve our weekly trading game plans, any of our tools, resources, our Google Sheets, our BeachBum Trading community. We really need your feedback and your help to add more value for all of our fellow BeachBum traders. We hope that you like this content. Please smash the like button. Help us try to get the YouTube algorithm to someday show us some love and share our content with other BeachBum traders. We'd also really greatly appreciate it if you directly share our content with your fellow traders, repost our content on your social media sites, invite your fellow traders to join us in the live chats for our weekend live streams, etc. Join us in our Discord. Uh, Again, we can have 24/7 discussions on any topics related to trading in our Discord. And we'll take all of this input, all these trade ideas, trade market analysis, etc. And tomorrow we'll use that data to select our top swing trading stocks to watch in part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for this trading week. So again, we'll use that data to select our top swing trading stocks to watch, stocks in our bullpen, stocks on our shopping list. Again, recommend everyone have their Cyber Monday shopping list of stocks ready for any sales on stocks we get next week. And again, we'll discuss that again tomorrow. Also, dividend payers, how we can use dividend payers and several income or several option strategies to generate income while we wait for our swing trading stocks to set up. So thank you again to everyone that joined us in the chat and participated, everyone who's watching after the fact. And again, we hope to see you all back 10 a.m. on 10 a.m. on Sundays for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan. Thank you again and have a great rest of your Thanksgiving holiday weekend.